Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again for episode 8 of our NHL 23 franchise mode with the Ottawa Senators. If you didn't see the last episode, we just missed out on the playoffs in our division there. We were only like 9 or 5 points away from the playoff spot, but I forgot to show you guys the awards, so let's get to that real quick. So obviously we all know the Stanley Cup champions were the Colorado Avalanche. Presidents went to the Philadelphia Flyers, surprisingly, and the Avalanche played Tampa in the finals. A rematch of 2021-22. Their individual awards, Patrick Kane, cleaned up house here, winning the Art Ross. Mikko Rantanen won the Hart. Cale Makar won the James Norris, and the Lady Byng went to Patrick Kane as well. The Calder went to an Arizona prospect. Nathan MacKinnon won that Conn Smythe. The Vezina to John Gibson. William M. Jennings there to Jussi Saros. Bill Masterton to Brendan Dillon. Jack Adams to the coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Frank J. Selke to the Ryan O'Reilly. Ted Lindsay to Mikko Rantanen, and Maurice Richard to Patrick Kane. So I say he cleaned up house. He didn't really, I guess. He kind of tied with Mikko Rantanen. Nathan MacKinnon winning that Conn Smythe. The Avalanche, I should say, cleaned up house in that one. But enough of the shenanigans from last episode. In this episode, we have our draft, and we should be picking... Let me just bring up the draft board here. I believe we are picking 11th place. Let's see, projected. Oh, no, we're picking 10th place. Okay, so we have the 10th pick in the draft, and there is a specific player that I want to go after. We'll just bring up the draft class real quick here. So we picked 10th here. There's Colton Perez here, but I have my eyes on Berkeley Catton. I believe he's a real-life prospect as well, and with ankle breaker and all these other superstar abilities, I think he will be a great addition to our team, a center playmaker as well. Probably will play the wing, but kind of a Tim Stützle type to go with our already young team. So that is good, in my opinion. I believe that's going to be the guy we are targeting. So otherwise, we don't really have many other depth picks. There's a few guys who I was looking at, maybe going for this low elite defenseman here, but we don't actually know if he's low elite or not. And then this medium elite defense or two-way forward, we will definitely go after him at 70 or so, around there. So, but without further ado, guys, let's get to the draft and see what happens. All right, so let's start up the NHL entry draft, the 2024 NHL entry draft, and see what happens. So the Philadelphia Flyers, despite winning the President's Trophy, also get the first overall pick, which is absolutely bonkers. Boston willing to trade their pick, so was Calgary, and we have that 10th pick right there. So nothing too crazy that I want to do. I'm going to look at some contracts though real quick. Yeah, so that doesn't really look like anything for us to be doing, so let's just simulate this pick, see who the Philadelphia Flyers pick up, and they pick up a medium elite playmaker, Dominic Grosek. These are his individual stats here: 88 passing, 90 acceleration, 89 speed, and that looks like kind of about it. That jumps out at me, at least. He's got a couple of X factors as well, so probably going to be a very good pickup for those Philadelphia Flyers. Now, in Seattle, they're going to also pick up a left winger playmaker as well. 85 passing, 88 speed and acceleration, and only 2.5 star physical. So this guy probably needs some development, but can probably play in the NHL this year. In New Jersey now, a center sniper. Love to see that with 5-star shooting, as they are always decked out in the shooting category, are the snipers in this game. Some good X factors there as well. Now our rivals, the Leafs, who had an abysmal season last year, but they're going to pick up a two-way defender to help out Morgan Rielly, I suppose. Unless Morgan Rielly's been moved, and I completely forget about it. And then the 5th pick, before we simulate just to our pick, is the left wing playmaker at 74 overall. So the overalls are dropping, but the elite status is kind of staying there. So let's simulate to pick 10. Hopefully, and this is the thing. What's his name? Berkeley Catton, I think, right? Let me just look at the draft real quick. Berkeley Catton, I believe. Yes. The thing is, like, number 9 could take Berkeley. Like Dallas or Calgary, these guys could both take Berkeley Catton, and then I'd be left with my second choice, but I'm going to hope that isn't happening. I don't think it's really that realistic, just move up one pick, but let's see what happens. All right, so let's sim to pick number 10 here, and it looks like he's still on the board, so Boston picked up a medium elite 81 overall sniper. I'm sure he has 5-star shooting. Yes, he does. Then medium top 6 is going. Ooh, yikes. So we're going to be able to snag Berkeley Catton here. So this is Colton Perez. We're going to pick up Berkeley Catton with the 11th overall pick in the draft. So let's do this right here. Congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche on the 2024 Stanley Cup, being the champions of the league. Congratulations to them. With the 10th overall selection in the 2024 NHL draft, the Ottawa Senators select from the Spokane Chiefs from the WHL, Berkeley Catton. Welcome to the team, my friend. And let me know if I'm saying his name wrong as well. Okay, he's a 73 overall playmaker with ankle breaker, tape to tape, it's tricky, puck on a string, wheels, and quick draw. So great little player for us there. I think he will be a great addition to the team. Welcome, Berkeley. So our next pick lies at pick number 42. So let me just check the draft, see if there's anybody between 10 and 42 that I desperately need. Again, Aaron Kiviharu, is that how you say it? I think it is. Would be a great addition, but moving up to 16 doesn't really seem like it's on the cards for us, to be honest. Anybody between now and 42? Anybody like with X Factors, perhaps? I'm just going to check real quick. I won't make you guys watch all this if it's too boring. Yeah, so I don't think there's anybody too crazy that I would like. We could always pick up Willie Burroughs here. I don't know. I'm gonna do some scouting. Real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna simulate to pick number 42 here. There was nobody really up here. There's a couple of medium top 6, medium top 4 guys all the way up here, but they didn't look like anything too special, so I passed on them. And I'm going to go back to, where is it? I want to pick up this guy, Willie Burroughs. So we're going to draw up to trade for like pick 45 or something. And let's just drop. But is it worth it to just drop back 2 picks? I mean, what can we get from it? Maybe can I get a 7th or something? Like a 2nd and a 7th, or is that outrageous? I'm sure they're going to yell at me for that for the rest of the days, aren't they? And give me like a 7th next year or something. They have so many picks. Oh my god. Give me a 7th next year. And we'll see. Is this going to be... Yeah, complete... You're too far off. Okay, so we're just going to use this pick to select Willie Burroughs from the USA West, the USA Development Center, I suppose. 5'11", Willie Burroughs. He's a sniper. These were his stats: 17 goals, 35 assists in a C- league. So let's see, what overall is he? 62 overall. I mean, it's the best pick in a while. The best pick basically since Ren's here. So not a bad pick at all there. Not worried about it too much. He's got decent shooting, and everything else is kind of meh, but he's 62 overall, so what do you expect? Our next pick is pick number 62. So let me check if there is anything between now and then that I really, really want. Yes, this guy right here at 56, Lars Lindholm, is somebody who I want. He's a gem. He's a low top 4 defenseman, so we're going to trade up for pick like 54, 53, something like that. Let me do that real quick. All right, we're going to do a 2nd and a 2026 7th now, and see, there we go, trade accepted. Okay, thank you very much, Columbus. Didn't have to be that hard, but either way, let's sim to pick number 52, and pick up, where is he? Right here, Lars Lindholm. Welcome to the team from La Liga. He's a defensive defenseman, 6'3", big boy, 1.5-star defense. Love to see it. 2-star physical, 2-star skating. So I'm not sure if he's going to be anything, but it's trade value nonetheless. Our next pick is pick number 77. So let's go down there and see if there's anybody in particular we would be looking at. Yes, right here, 74 is the guy we want. So we're going to move up to pick like 70 or something to select the medium elite Russian. All right, to Florida, I'm thinking we give them the rights to Paul Stastny, who we are not going to re-sign anyways, and we give them our third, so swapping a third with Paul Stastny. I believe this should go through. Yep, they accept it, and we don't have to give up anything there. So that's a good trade on our behalf here. Pick 70. What is this? No, we're declining that trade. That's ridiculous. And we are going to pick up our medium elite center two-way forward, maybe, of the future. Maybe. We'll see. Ruslan Zadorov from Russia. He's 19 years old, which is kind of strange, but 19 years old already. 66 overall, medium elite with 86 passing there, 82 deacon, good puck skills, 3-star puck skills, 81 offensive awareness, but that defense is nowhere to be seen, and he has 61 faceoffs as a center, so that's amazing. In all the other categories, he's a pretty wonky prospect, to be honest, which I don't love, but medium elite, so I'll take it. All right, we're going to move up to the 76th overall pick here, using this Benjamin Roger, who is a defensive defenseman, 6'4", but low top 6, 62 overall is not going to be anything for us, so we'll trade him to Colorado, and we won't have to worry about him coming back to bite us either. So the 76th overall pick will become Michael Owley, a 19-year-old, but a medium top 6 potential, so we're drafting for potential right now. 57 overall, but a center playmaker. Medium top 6 is the number, or is the definition we are looking at there. 74 passing, not bad. 69 offensive awareness. Pretty brutal. Everything else not great. Decent speed, I guess, for what is he, 57 overall, so nothing crazy there. Next pick is 127. Let me look if there's anything up there. All right, so at 127, there's a few like low top 6s, low top 4 defensemen, guys who could be useful, I suppose. Like there's this guy here, or there's this guy. So who's younger? You're 19. You are also 19. So fantastic. That does not really help me. We'll go with the defenseman. Why not? Just because. And we'll pick up Xavier Wolfsky from the USA Central here. Low top 4 defenseman, 53 overall. Fantastic. Massive project. And then we'll sim to pick 138. Give me a second. Okay, pick number 138. We are going to select from Russia, Ilya Maranov. He is also a low top 6. He's a grinder, so maybe he can actually make it into the bottom 6. I don't know. 5 years away, though, at 19 years old. Doesn't seem too likely. Probably will be like a low 50 overall. Yes, he is. But I suppose we shall see. Decent physical. 79 aggression, 81 strength. It's okay. It's okay. He also has 78 discipline, I saw. Next, we don't have another pick, so let me just see if there's any other guys we would like to go for. If not, then I'm totally okay to end this draft. Oh, there's this guy, 3-bar low elite, which I'm not. I don't really care about that much. This guy, but we already have a bunch of prospects like that in the system right now. So, yeah, nothing crazy here. So I am good to auto the draft, the rest of the draft. We picked up 5 guys, I believe. I think that's a pretty good draft from us. Oh, 6 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Oh, my bad. We had 7 draft picks this year. I did not even recognize that. We pick up Berkeley Catton is the big one there, and then everybody else is kind of just relatively similar prospects. So good draft from us, I think, but now it's time for that re-sign stage, ladies and gentlemen. So let's advance to the day, and yeah, all the coaches and stuff, all the scouts, don't worry, I'll get all that stuff taken care of, but we will look at our contracts now. So our team, our roster is basically set. We have the exact same roster pretty much going into next year, but that being said, I want to make a move in free agency. I want to make them. Well, first of all, so we're going to simulate the free agency first. I'll get these guys signed on to like, what, you want a 2-way deal? Good. So I'll get all these expiring contracts here, like these RFAs signed to 2-way deals. And if you're like this guy, you don't want a 2-way deal, you'll just get qualified and I won't have to worry about you. But for example, like Loden, 2-way deal, totally fine. McBain here, 2-way deal, totally fine. And same thing with all these guys. I won't make you watch all of this stuff, but I'll just simulate to the next day and we'll talk about what happens when it's done. Okay, so as we simulate here, all these guys will start to sign on. Okay, except Dylan Hetherington. All right, never mind. He can just leave then. That's totally fine. But all these guys will sign on, and these are all just basically contract people. So we have no expiring contracts soon, I don't think, except for Blickfeld and Hetherington. You didn't want to sign, release you. So Blickfeld, you want a one-way deal, which we are not going to give you. So we will keep you qualified, and we can send to free agency, man. We don't have a lot to do. We don't have anything to do in the re-sign phase. We are totally good. Actually, let me do the coaching staff and the scouts. I forgot about that. I'll be right back. Okay, so now the scouts and the coaches should be taken care of here. And we will continue on going into free agency. And when I see who's in free agency, then I will unveil my grand scheme here. And if the person who I wanted wasn't in free agency, well then that's gonna suck, but it is what it is. So what did that say? Did that say that we have people who aren't on a contract? Let me check. Expiring. No, we're good. And and goaltending wise, oh snap, I did not look at the goalies expiring. Okay, let me do this real quick. We'll give Matt Sogard more than what he wants to make sure he signs, and we'll give Kevin Mandolese also this so that he signs as well. I thought we were completely done, man. That would have been disastrous if Mad Sogard and Kevin Mandolese left the club because I was being a bit foolish. Okay, good thing I actually looked at that, but they should be fine to sign on now, and we will get to free agency. Easy decision. Thank you. Okay, AHL associate coach didn't sign on. That's fine. Pro scout on the line, and here we go. We can now look at the free agents available in 2024, and there are some big ones, I think. Okay, yes there are. So if we look at the UFAs only, we have Austin Matthews here, $13.225 million. We also have Sebastian Aho asking for $11.625. Not gonna lie, guys, I was looking to go after Sebastian Aho for our center core. Great two-way forward, doesn't fit our lines, but he has the X factors and stuff. I was looking to go after him, but $11.62 million, I don't think we can muster that up. So we might have to go a different route here. Alright guys, you let me know if I'm just absolutely insane, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in on defenseman this year. I'm going to look to sign Brett Pesce here for 6 years. I know he's close. He's aging in on 30, man. So this could end up being a bad contract. But 6 years at $5.6 million. And this way, we will still have $3 million left in cap space. We have our team basically set for this year and for next year pretty much. And we would have like 8 defensemen, so I could trade some people away for cap relief. I think this is a good decision, and I think it would really help our defensive capabilities on the ice. On top of that, even if we just look at the forwards here, there's nobody in particular I'd be willing to get, and we don't really have the money to go after anybody crazy. Like a guy like Joe Pavelski, he could drop to like an 85 overall by this term, like by next year. Same thing with like a Dadonov or a Wheeler. There's just a lot of veteran guys here. And a guy like Sam Reinhart for $7.725 million, he only gives you like 59 points last year. So it's a bit of too much of a risk for my blood. Don't get me wrong, there are good people who I was looking to pick up. I looked at Jonathan Marchessault for a little bit, but I just think it's a little risky. I even looked at like Alex Wenberg or Chandler Stevenson, but these guys just went a little bit too much for my blood, So I think I'm going to go with my gut, and my gut tells me this team needs defense. So with all that being said, guys, I think he just gives us the best bang for our buck. A guy like Kasperi Kapanen as well, decent, puts up about 40 points, play him on that third line, and 84 overall, only wants 3.5 million, or 3.225 million. That's a pretty good deal for maybe someone like him. Like, I'd be willing to look at that a little bit closer. But I just don't see anything too enticing to me down here. There's a lot of 83, 84, 85 overall guys, but they want like 5 mil, and I'd much rather give that to a 86 overall defenseman, for like 6 years. So I think I was also looking at Noah Hanifin, but he wants $1.5 million more dollars. So that doesn't really make too much sense to me. Go with the guy who costs more. Also, TJ Brody was also an idea I was looking at. A two-way defender, but the Leafs had him. He's not really great in real life, so I decided I want to stick off that train. But a defensive defenseman, I think, could do this team wonders. He can play top pair minutes with Thomas Chabot, so it can be like, this would be our lines. It would be Thomas Chabot with Brett Pesce. The second line would be Eric Brandstrom with Jake Sanderson, and the third line would be Matthias Ekholm with Jigger Bernard Docker. Like, that's a pretty good top six. And then our seventh and eighth defensemen are Scott Mayfield and Artem Zub collectively, and they're both on $2 million contracts, so I can free up $4 million from them. So I think this is a pretty good idea here. It shores up our defense, gives us some reliability back there. I'm going to give him $5.50 million for 6 years. I think this is fairly reasonable. Or should we do 5.6? I want to make sure I get him. Well, we have cap space. Let's do $5.6 million for 6 years for Brett Pesce. Let's offer that contract right now and see what happens. So let's get that underway. And then any other guys I'm looking at, I don't really think so. Obviously a guy like Moritz Seider would be amazing to have, but RFA status, a little bit scary there. We'd be giving away like our first round picks for the next like 20 years. And let me take a look at our roster here and see what we need. So this is how I like to do things. I go into our roster, I go sort by forwards, and then I count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that bottom pair gets that fourth line gets a little bit rusty down there. Also, forgot to mention, if we go to unsigned, look at this. Kasper Halttunen, who we drafted 11th last year, he has beauty backhand, make it snappy, snipe, and relentless, and he's a 78 overall, so he's ready for the NHL. Let's offer him that contract. So he will be up in the NHL with us for sure. Come next year, I believe, anyways. So we add him to the list, and we get 1, 2, 3. Oh, excuse me. Go to forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, and then Halttunen being 12. So I'd like to definitely get some depth here. I mean, Vinny Hinostroza is a guy who is on the outs for me personally. Didn't really do anything with us last year. Only had 10 points in 82 games, minus 23. Yeah, this is a guy we can definitely move on from next year. But so that's something I will look at. Shane Pinto, hopefully Shane Pinto grows. But we need a right winger. And what is Halttunen? Halttunen is what is he? He's a right. Is he a right winger? Halttunen, he's a right winger. So we need a left winger for that fourth line down there. So let me see if I can't get that in free agency. Okay, and I think here I'm going to decide to pick up Marcus Foligno. He's a big body, 6'3", 227. He's 82 overall as well. So playing on that fourth line, I think would be good for me. Played on that fourth line where did he play last year? In Minnesota? Yeah, in Minnesota last year. Picked up 22 points on the fourth line, so not bad at all. And he has good defensive stats as well. 86 defensive awareness, 84 shot blocking, 89 stick checking, and he can shoot that puck a little bit as well. So not a bad pickup, I don't think, if I say so myself. So let's sign him to a 2-year deal. Nobody's interested, so I'm actually going to go down to 2.650. Actually, let's just say 2 years, 2.7 mil. 2 years, 2.7 mil for Marcus Foligno. And we have Brett Pesce up here at 5 something mil. So we should be okay. We should have enough cap room, I think. So let's see if these guys sign. And let's advance here. Usually it's that 5th day is the special day. Artem Zub, maybe. Okay, well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we have to free up some room. But let's see. Okay, yeah, a bunch of scouts are going to be signing on here. I had to overhaul the scouting completely. I signed like 15 new scouts or something crazy. So all this stuff is going to have to go through. But I'm interested. I really want Brett Pesce, man. Really, really want Brett Pesce. So I'm hoping that we can get him with with our offer there, and he's interested in it, because I think that'd be a massive upgrade for our team. It would allow us, probably really, really help our defense out. And I always kind of wonder if the simulation kind of caters towards, puck-moving defenseman. Brett Pesce isn't really a puck mover, but let's see. Okay, this is the day. Marcus Foligno, extremely happy to accept that offer. And Brett Pesce, okay, he doesn't accept yet. Okay, come on, this is the moment of truth. Brett Pesce, will you accept? Extremely happy to accept your offer. Your cash offer was most generous. It really was quite easy to make up my mind. Thank you very much. Okay, but now we have to do some thinking, because we have a bit, not a problem, but we definitely have a deep defensive core now. So we have Thomas Chabot with Matthias Ekholm. We have Brandstrom with Sanderson. We have Ekholm with Jacob Bernard Docker. Did I say we have Chabot with Ekholm? I meant we have Chabot with Pesci. We have Brandstrom with Sanderson and Ekholm with Docker. So that means we have two guys here making $2 million. We have 8 defensemen. We only need 7. And on top of that, we don't need somebody making $2 million as our 7th defenseman. We need somebody on like a league minimum or, just an 80 overall $1 million guy to get in there. So it means that, a guy like, Scott Mayfield or Artem Zub, they're expendable. And Scott Mayfield makes more money. So let's see what trade we can get for Scott Mayfield here. I'll just do a fine trade and then see if there's any teams that are interested in him. Just because I don't want to choose the system too much, too heavily. So let's see, fine trade. A 3rd and a 5th for Scott Mayfield, that's pretty good. I'd be willing to take a 3rd. If anybody gives me a 3rd, I think that's pretty decent. A 3rd and a 6th, but 3rd and 5th is better. Let's just go through this real quick. Yeah, it looks like a 3rd and a 5th from Anaheim is the best deal that we're going to get. So let's do this trade, I think. Yeah, so Scott Mayfield, he played a year and a half with us. He was a good pickup for us, but unfortunately just doesn't quite fit. We've kind of upgraded with Brett Pesci there, so I'm going to do this deal. Wait, well, let's just add in a 7th. See, will they give us a 7th as well? Like a 7th next year? Let's see. Will they do this? Rejected. Too far off. Okay, but let's just go back to the normal one, and they consider it a done deal. So thank you very much for your service, Scott Mayfield, but your services are no longer required on the team. All right, so looking good. I think the roster's looking all right, but there are guys like, guys like Formanton or, Vinny Hinostroza, who are definitely on that cusp there for sure. But let's simulate to the regular season and see what the team is looking like. Okay, guys, if we look here, I actually noticed that Jake Sanderson does want that extension. He's an 84 overall now, and he's only 21 years of age. He wants that extension, and he wants only $4.8 million for 5 years. Now, if I bump that up to 8 years, he only wants $5.525 million. Now, that might sound like a lot, but it's way less than a guy like Matthias Ekholm wants. And if we even do the 85% trick, I think it's something like 4.69, so 4.7, but I think we should give him 8 years at 925 or something, like 4.925, because I think 4.7 is a little cheesy for 8 years for a guy like Jake Sanderson. In the real world, he's probably going to be making a lot more than that. So I think 8 years at 4.925 for somebody like Jake Sanderson is a big plus on our team, and I think he will help us out drastically in the future. So let's offer him this contract extension and let's see what he says about it. All right, so with that contract being offered, let's simulate a few days here and see if Jake says anything about that. Not quite yet. Still got to keep simulating. And he's wrecked. You must be joking if you think I'm going to extend my contract if that's what you're offering me. Oh my god. Okay, so he was not happy at all with that contract. Which, kind of makes sense. Does he still want an extension, though, or did I mess this up? Did I mess this up? Yes, he no longer wants an extension. God damn it, bro. God damn. And now he wants big money. Oh my god. I screwed things up, boys. I screwed it up. He's an RFA, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I screwed up bad. What you gonna do? Let's sim to the next season, man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so these are what the lines are looking like right now at this moment, but I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on them. So we have Brady Tkachuk with Tim Stützle and Alex DeBrincat on that first line. They don't get any chemistry pluses, but I think it should be a good first line nonetheless. The second line with a +5 is Drake Batherson with Claude Giroux and Casper Halton, and making his NHL debut, a sniper, the 6'4", 200-pound sniper here. Getting a +5 on that second line, making his NHL debut. Then we're going to have Tyler Boucher also making his NHL debut with Matthew Joseph and Connor Brown. There's no center on this line. I didn't realize we don't have another center, which is kind of bad. I can't always throw like Drake Batherson down here to play center. But then it messes with the chemistry. So we're going to need to pick up a center most likely. Then we have Sonny Milano with Shane Pinto and Marcus Foligno. Unfortunately, Shane Pinto is not growing. So I might have to use his value right now and maybe flip him for something. I don't know. But Shane Pinto not growing the way that I want. On defense, we have Thomas Chabot with Eric Brandstrom. He grew to an 87 overall now. That's a +1 on that line. Then we have Jake Sanderson, who's mad at us because of the contract offer we gave him, which fair enough, alongside Brett Pesce here. And then Jacob Bernard-Docker with the aging Matthias Ekholm, who's here for another 2 years. So that Jake Sanderson contract might come back to bite me, and it makes me pretty angry at myself that I did that and messed that up so badly. But anyways, in goaltending, we have Anton Forsberg with Mads Sogard backing him up this year. Anton Forsberg, because of his great season last year, actually grew in overall, so really happy about that. Really happy about that. But to end this video off, we are going to go take a look at the trade blocks around the NHL and just see what everybody else is offering up. We have some cap space, so we can make some moves this year, and I think we have a real good team to do it as well. So prospects there in Anaheim, prospects here in Arizona as well. Boston doesn't have anybody. Buffalo doesn't have anybody. Calgary here has Andre Kuzmenko, yes, a sniper, 81 overall. Dylan Dubé and Zach Parise all on that block for them. Tom Wilson out here in Carolina. They just signed him, and he's already on the block. Makes no sense, but what are you going to do? Chicago has their whole roster. Michael Backlund, Chandler Stevenson, Ryan Hartman, Jake McCabe, Alex Edler, Connor Murphy, and so on there in Chicago. Colorado here with not many people. Columbus, Jonas Donskoy on that block. Dallas with nobody. Detroit, a few prospects. Edmonton, Philip Broberg. All right, so just some interesting options here. Just letting you guys take a look and see for yourselves if there's anybody here that interests you. Prospects there. Jake Evans in Montreal. Nashville has Eli Tolvanen. Oh, man. Eli Tolvanen could be interesting. A sniper with good shooting. Great passing, deking, all that stuff. Offensive awareness, discipline at 97. An 87 overall on their block. Man, with RFA rights too, so that's pretty interesting. New Jersey with Andre Palat, that's also interesting, but $6 million. Don't know if I want to take that contract on. The Islanders with John Klingberg there. Keandre Miller once again in New York. I don't think he played at all last year. Yeah, he didn't play at all last year, so maybe that's a realistic guy we could go for, but we already have a pretty stacked defensive core. Don't know if we need that. Philadelphia with Ryan Ellis and Rasmus Ristolainen. Also Ryan Donato, who has crazy trade value for some reason. Pittsburgh, is this Leo Carlson? Yes, it is. Leo Carlson on the block in Pittsburgh. Nico Sturm here and Mark-Edward Vlasic. We don't want to take on these contracts. Seattle, Sean Walker. He was a former Sen a little bit in our series, obviously. Braden Shen in St. Louis. Jonathan Toews. Interesting. Braden Hagel here, who has not been signed still. Toronto with Morgan Riley. Who is this? Craig Smith, yeah. And Justin Hall and Callie Yarncroke on the block. I can't believe Morgan Riley's on the block in Toronto. That's insane. What is he? He's making $7.5 million. I don't know if we can make that work, but interesting. Patrice Bergeron here in Vancouver. Vegas with Braden McNabb, right? Yeah, Braden McNabb and Mark Pysyk. Interesting. Washington. Oh my God, the whole farm's on the block for Washington. Nicholas Backstrom, Anthony Mantha, TJ Oshie, Ryan Graves, Nicholas Jensen, Ian Kroll, Jason Dickinson, Vladislav Nemesnikov, Troy Stetcher, Brandon Tanev, Sebastian Aho. Whole block. Whole team on the block. Nicholas Backstrom, somebody maybe like a trade deadline pickup, but not right now, I don't think. And then Winnipeg, Nate Schmidt, Jimmy Alexiak, and Will Butcher as well. So those are the trade blocks, guys. You saw the team. You saw the trade blocks. I'll just let you look at the lines once again here. And but yeah, I think that is going to do it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, feel free to give it a like, comment if you are new, and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you on board. Let me know your thoughts down below. Without further ado, guys, have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.